The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador James Walker stepped forward to the speaking platform. His weathered face showed no emotion, but the representatives from 100 star systems shifted uneasily in their seats. Behind him, the holographic display showed Earth, blue and serene, orbiting its yellow sun. Esteemed members of the Council, Walker began, his voice carrying the weight of exhaustion. For 73 years, humanity has been a member of this assembly. We have followed your protocols. We have observed your customs. We have endured your tests. The Vorthon delegate, a creature of crystalline segments that caught and refracted light, chimed in response. The human speaks of endurance as if they have suffered. Earth has prospered under our guidance. Walker's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. Prosperity. Yes, let us speak of prosperity. He touched a control on his podium, and the display behind him changed. It showed a timeline of incidents. Mining vessels destroyed, colony ships attacked, trade routes disrupted. Each entry bore the seal of a different Council member species. 147 unprovoked attacks on human vessels in the past decade alone. Walker continued. Each time we filed our complaints through proper channels. Each time we were told these were misunderstandings. Pirates, rogue elements, never official actions. The Qatari Prime Minister, whose species resembled massive armored beetles, clicked their mandibles dismissively. Humans are newcomers to space. Such incidents are common as young species learn to navigate the complexities of interstellar travel. Common. Walker repeated the word slowly, as if tasting something bitter. Tell me, Prime Minister, how many Qatari vessels have been destroyed by these same pirates? Silence. How many Vorthon ships? How many from any other Council species? The silence stretched longer. Walker nodded. 0. The answer is 0. Only human vessels suffer these misunderstandings. He paused, letting the weight of that fact settle over the chamber. We know what this is. You test us because you fear us. A ripple of protest moved through the assembly, but Walker raised his hand. You discovered us 73 years ago, a species that had barely reached its own moon, and within a generation we had reverse-engineered your FTL drives. You gave us the minimum required technology for Council membership, and we improved upon it within 5 years. You fear our adaptability, our growth rate, our potential. The elder from Sigma Draconis, ancient even by galactic standards, spoke with a voice like grinding stone. Humanity's rapid advancement is precisely why caution is warranted. You are predators. Your history is soaked in blood. Wars that consumed millions. Weapons that poisoned entire regions of your world. You glorify violence in your entertainment, your literature, your very myths. Walker actually smiled at that, though there was no warmth in it. You're right. We are predators. We are violent. We have done terrible things to each other. And do you know what that taught us? He stepped away from the podium, moving to the center of the chamber floor where everyone could see him clearly. It taught us restraint. It taught us the cost of unchecked aggression. Every human child learns about our wars not as glory, but as cautionary tales. We developed philosophies of peace not despite our violent nature, but because of it. We created international laws, codes of conduct, rules of engagement. We learned to chain the monster. The display behind him changed again, showing Earth's military installations, orbital defense platforms, fleet positions. The numbers were staggering. For 73 years, we have been polite. We have absorbed your attacks. We have buried our dead. We have played your games. But politeness, esteemed Council members, is not weakness. It is a choice. The Altarian representative, tall and ethereally thin, stood suddenly. Is this a threat, Ambassador? No, Walker replied simply. This is a final warning. The last one you will receive. He returned to his podium and activated another display. This one showed technical schematics that made several species translation devices struggle to process the information. Project Damocles, Walker announced, named after an old Earth legend about understanding the true burden of power. For 50 years we have been preparing, not for conquest, not for empire, but for the day when politeness would no longer suffice. The schematics revealed themselves slowly. Mass drivers capable of accelerating asteroids to significant fractions of light speed. Antimatter production facilities hidden in the outer system. Something called a stellar manipulation array that several species couldn't even comprehend. We reverse-engineered your technology in 5 years, Walker continued. What do you think we've been doing with the other 68? The council chamber erupted in alarmed communication between delegates. The Vorthan representative's crystalline form flickered through several color spectrums, a sign of extreme agitation. You dare bring weapons into this sacred chamber? These aren't weapons, Walker corrected. These are engineering projects, tools, the weapons. He paused. The weapons are something else entirely, something we sincerely hope never to demonstrate. Admiral Torres of the Earth Defense Force entered the chamber then, her uniform crisp, her bearing military perfect. She carried a small device that she placed on Walker's podium. This is a quantum communication device, Walker explained. It is connected to every human ship, station, and colony in the galaxy. With one word from me, Project Damocles activates. Our ships, which you've noticed are somewhat larger than necessary for their stated purposes, will reveal their true capabilities. Our colonies, which you've mocked for their excessive defensive infrastructure, will show you why we built them that way. The elder from Sigma Draconis leaned forward. You would start a war? Against the entire council? Start? Walker laughed, actually laughed. Elder, the war started 73 years ago when you decided to test if humans could be broken through attrition. We simply chose not to fight it, until now. He picked up the communication device, his finger hovering over its activation key. Here is what happens next. The attacks stop. All of them. The mysterious pirates disappear. The rogue elements are brought to heel. The misunderstandings cease. Your species stop testing our resolve and accept that humanity has earned its place among you through patience, persistence, and extraordinary restraint. The Qatari Prime Minister's armored form shifted, or we stop pretending to be polite. Walker's voice had gone very quiet. We stop filing complaints. We stop accepting excuses. We stop restraining ourselves. And you learn why a species that spent most of its evolution as apex predators, who split the atom before achieving spaceflight, who weaponized everything from biology to information itself, chose to embrace diplomacy. He set the device down, still inactive. You fear our potential for violence, but you should fear our restraint more, because restraint is a choice and choices can be revoked. We learned from our history, yes. We learned that total war is horror, but we also learned how to wage it with terrible efficiency when left no other option. The chamber remained silent for a long moment. Then slowly the elder spoke again. And if we agree to your terms? Then nothing changes, Walker said. We continue as we have. We trade, we explore. We contribute to the Council's collective knowledge and security. We remain polite. We remain restrained. We continue to choose peace. But make no mistake, it will be by choice, not because we lack alternatives. Admiral Torres stepped forward. The human fleet has been recalled to defensive positions around our territories. We are not mobilizing for war. We are simply making it clear that we are prepared for one if it comes to us. Walker looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes or optical organs of each delegation. Earth has one question for this council. Will you stop attacking us, or must we stop pretending to be polite? The vote was called immediately. No debate, no committee hearings. No procedural delays, it was unanimous. The attacks would stop. As Walker and Torres left the chamber, the Vorthan delegate called out, Ambassador, a question. Would you really have activated your Project Damocles? Walker turned back, his expression unreadable. Counselor, the beautiful thing about effective deterrence is never having to answer that question. Later, aboard the human diplomatic vessel returning to Earth, Admiral Torres found Walker standing in the observation deck, watching the stars streak by. Think they bought it? She asked quietly. Walker smiled, this time with genuine warmth. They bought it because on some level it wasn't a bluff. We could have built those weapons. We chose not to, but we could have. That's what terrifies them. Not what we've done, but what we're capable of choosing to do. Torres nodded. The engineering proposals were real. We just allocated the resources elsewhere. Education, infrastructure, art, science. The best weapon, Walker said, is the one you never have to build because everyone believes you could. Let them think we're barely controlling our violent nature. The truth, that we're genuinely trying to be better than our past, that we actually want peace, would terrify them even more. Why? Because a species that chooses peace despite having every capability for war is far more dangerous than one that seeks peace from weakness. We're not pretending to be polite, Admiral. We're choosing to be, and that choice is what makes us powerful. The stars continued to streak by as humanity's diplomatic victory set.